There was one more thing I wanted to check out. And then we're gonna end off. We're gonna end off the stream.
Hello, guys and gals.
You already know. You already know who it is. We don't. We don't need an intro here. You already know who it is. This is about Monster Hunter Wilds. Capcom just killed their biggest game. Let me just show you something. This is actually fucking crazy. Okay, so here is Monster Hunter Wilds on SteamDB. It is charts 6,600 players right now. Look at this fucking graph. It sold pretty well. But it's down. It's not doing super great right now. Let me show you another game, okay? So that's Monster Hunter Wilds. Let me show you. Let me show you another game that they also made. Also known as Monster Hunter World. The previous game that came out. When did World come out? 2018 on Steam. It has almost double the player base. It's a 7-year-old game, and it has almost double the player base than the new game. Now, obviously, this is trending. You know, they had a big push here. It's trending downwards, sure, but it's also 7 years old. Wait. Let me try another one. Monster Hunter Rise. Surely not. Oh, that's actually. Wait, what was Wilds at again? Was it 6,000? Yeah, so Rise only has half the player base. And this was never a popular Monster Hunter game. That's so fucking... World's really good. How much is Worlds right now? 15 Australian dollars on the Steam sale. If you want to play Monster Hunter World, great time to get it. Fantastic time to get it. I assume Rise is on sale as well. Yep, Rise is on sale as well. 15 Australian dollars as well. World is also $83. And just one more thing, just in case anyone missed that. It says mixed here, but let's go to the actual store. It's even worse. Past 30 days. 14% positive. %14% on Capcom's big new AAA title. The supposedly gonna go super mainstream Monster Hunter game. I think that, okay, the performance is one thing. I think also it pissed off classic fans though. Right, like it's one thing that the game runs horribly. But at the same time, it's just they've like streamlined it so much that even the classic fans don't like it. Like, the classic fans would put up with a lot because it's Monster Hunter. But, like, no, not in this case, apparently. Anyway. They messed up bad. They did bring back a feature I liked in Try. Capcom might kill Rise and Worlds to force people to play Wilds. I doubt it. I really doubt it. They've been pretty good on keeping them, like, at the end of the day, right? Capcom's still making money. Just so we're clear, Capcom is still making money.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and you know what? I woke up early at the crack of dawn this morning, and I realized, why am I playing video games? Why am I building, like, a good computer when I'm getting excited to play a video game that released 25 years ago, boys?
So on that note, sorry, side tangent again. Do you want to know what my current off-stream game is? I'm gonna start playing it very soon. Final Fantasy VII. I've never played FF7 before. I'm gonna upgrade my PC, and the next game I'm gonna play is Final Fantasy VII from fucking, what, 1997 or whatever year it came out?
You know, I was walking around in kindergarten when System Shock 2 dropped, and
I've never played
a
System
remaster
Shock
of it. You know, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time, and you know, I look at this game and I'm like, man, it's got a lot of good gameplay. You know, it really holds up. And you know why I think it holds up really well? It's because this is from an era
It looks
where
surprisingly
like, I think
good, like
video game
upscaled
developers
or whatever.
really gave a shit about making cool, new, innovative experiences. And nowadays, I really feel like a lot of the gaming industry plays it really, really safe. But see, I don't have an issue with video games being too safe. You know, I don't really care if a video game is made for the masses. That's not my problem. What I do care about is if it runs well. Now, this is a 25-year-old game. You know, it runs exceptionally good on my computer, as it should. This game should be able to run on butt plugs, all right?
Someone call QDot. Someone let QDot know. He needs to sort that one out. Buy new hardware to play old games on insane FPS. This is the way. I know people who upgrade their PC and then it's like, what do they play? Stardew Valley. Or fucking Roblox. Or Minecraft.
Like, basic, like, processors on them, all right?
Or
like
Counter-Strike.
This should be able to run on anything, okay? Whatever. But what about modern games? So this is a game called Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't an old game. It's 28th February 2025 is when it dropped. And I'm sure some of you guys played it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's sitting at 14% of its reviews in the last 30 days have been positive.
Very rough.
Why is it that one of the most beloved Capcom franchises is fucking overly negative?
As a reminder, Monster Hunter World is it? Let me double check this one. Best-selling Capcom games. The best-selling Capcom game of all time is Monster Hunter World and Iceborne, the DLC for World. Third is Rise. Monster Hunter has sold more than any of the Resident Evil games. Like, this is how big Monster Hunter is.
Wow, why is that? What's going on here? Now, this is
To be fair, on my PC, I'll be mostly playing P3 Fest, a PS2 game based.
Simple answer to the question. Why Monster Hunter Wilds, you know, peaked at 1.1 million when it dropped, and it's now sitting at around 4,733 players. We are
okay. He was in a valley when he looked at it. It goes around 10K, 12K is where it's capping at. Look at these fucking numbers. Minus 200,000 players.
Fucking crypto levels of drops here, okay? Losing like what, 95% of your fucking audience?
I would say more
in the span of less than a year, ladies and gentlemen.
3
Literally
months.
Just like a few months, if we're going to be completely honest.
3 months they lost.
And again,
maybe
a
4
lot
months.
of it just comes down to the fact that they really did just drop a dog shit product. Now, to give you an idea here, Monster Hunter World, which is a great game, I highly recommend this.
So the game is wildly fucking easy. 3, it runs like ass unless you have like unless you have a 7090 and a fucking 10,000 series AMD CPU, it runs like ass. And these don't exist. So that's the problem. It'll run fine in like 5 years. It doesn't run fine now. When you can brute force the game with shit that doesn't exist yet. Yeah. Lacking content, no G rank. The game is horrible to run. The internet connection is bad. Oh, for the internet connection is bad. Denuvo. All right, it's Denuvo as well. Yeah, that doesn't make it any better. Yeah.
This new Monster Hunter game for, some would say maybe it's a little bit too easy, Muda. Maybe it just kind of plays itself.
The first monster in the game, when you fight Great Juggerus in Monster Hunter World, if you have not played a Monster Hunter game before, you are going to get cooked. When you fight Anjanath for the first time, you're actually going to get cooked because it breathes fire. When you fight, what's another good example? Kylo, what's Spiky Boy called? I'm blanking on the name. Spiky Boy in World. No, not Basil Goose. The other one. The one that shows up when you're fighting the story boss. That, like, shows up on top of the monster when you're, like, breaking all the things on it. Nergigante, thank you. Yes, Nergigante. When you fight Nergigante the first time, holy shit, you're gonna get cooked.
Maybe it's just a little too casual. No.
Also, yes, Basil Goose will fuck you as well.
You know why it's getting negative reviews on PC? It's because they released a broken fucking game on the computer.
And they never fixed it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm just going to answer this question really easily for you. For instance, if you scroll all the way down over here, this is the system requirements for the game.
Look at this.
And we're just going to have a quick, like, litmus test.
And that's minimum, by the way, just so we're clear.
Functioning brain activity. We're going to see what the problem is with the system specification sheet.
But hey, you know what? This does give me an excuse to go back and play the older games. Like, I'm tempted to go back and play some of the really old games and just, you know, maybe I should go try out Try. I don't know. Could be fun.
For a minimum system, okay, you need a i5 processor, which is fine, okay? It can run all the way down to an i3, 1100.
Yeah,
for a GPU,
3 generations ago.
Is a GTX 1660 graphics card, okay? That's fine. That's fine. Now, the game is expected to run...
Honestly, I might just go play... I've not played Rise yet. I might just go and play Rise. I kind of want to start with Monster Hunter 1. Do you understand that in Monster Hunter 1, you attack with the analog stick? Just so we're clear, the analog stick is how you attack. Yes, you're aware. Okay, just so you're not confused. The controls made no sense.
1080p. Is that native? No, upscaled from 720.
Yep.
So imagine having 720p and upscale that shit. Probably not even.
Oh, you can change the PSP controls.
Ooh,
like nice.
Software scaler. Because that's
okay,
a
do that.
1660.
Don't play the original controls.
Look like the most blurry shit imaginable. Okay, there are VHS tapes you can find that might be sharper than the image generated for this game.
Oh, also, the frame generation in this game is horrendous, and it looks like a blurry mess. So even though it is upscaled from 720p to 1080, it looks so much worse. Just fucking smear this frames across the screen. It looks awful.
Now, of course, you might be like, well, what's the frame rate like here? 30 frames?
Sometimes.
The graphic settings, okay?
When it feels like it.
You know, a lot of people use really offensive terminology like, man, this is like welfare gaming. Bro, this is crack den gaming is what it is, okay? This is Skid Row gaming at this point. You probably shouldn't even buy the fucking game.
No, don't.
If that's your system settings, right? You might as well just play System Shock 2.
If you don't have... Honestly, if you don't have a current gen Intel CPU and like at least a 4060, I wouldn't buy the game. Like genuinely. And also an SSD. Like if you don't have at least that, it is not worth buying this game at all. This game, System Shock 2, this will run on a fucking potato. But Monster Hunter Wilds.
Because that'll run on this system just fine. Now, what do they recommend here? They recommend a RTX 2060 Super, okay? Super, sir. Very super. What is the performance here? The game is expected to run at 1080p.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's a fucking lie. It runs at 1080p when you're looking at a fucking rock.
Okay, just 1080p, not even a little bit over than that. Just strictly 1080, okay? Which I guess is
sometimes
fine. 60 frames. You're like, okay, that's fine. That's cool. With frame generation enabled.
Yep.
Under the medium graphics settings. Not even high. Not even about frame
And it looks like shit. It looks worse than World does. That's what makes it so much worse, right? Like, it's one thing if you needed these specs to run the game. You need these specs, and it fucking looks worse than World does. Rise runs like butter? Yeah, Rise is a fucking Switch game. I would expect it to run like butter. I don't know if they were just overworked. I don't know how this game happened, right? Like, cause like World and Rise run perfectly. Is this like, I know the RE remake, it thinks the engine. Well, yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 runs like ass. The latest RE game runs fine, but like the engine's kind of made for that. Wilds and Dragon's Dogma 2 just, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's the engine. I don't know if they're overworked and don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they don't know what to do with open world games with the engine. And then Denuvo, which is great.
Frame generation to even get to the 60 FPS, okay?
So sometimes.
Can you run the game at 30?
No, it's that he's very right there. You get to the 60 FPS. Sometimes you hit 60 FPS. Most of the time you're not, though.
Then you generate a little bit of that fake frame bullshit, and you get all the way to 60. Now, given
sometimes
the fact this is a 20 series graphic card, this is not even actual NVIDIA's DLSS frame generation. This is like other software level frame generation. So if you think the latency is bad underneath the NVIDIA version, just wait until you fucking play with software generated.
In lobby, it's more like 30.
Okay? Or just like without any hardware support. It's even worse. And this is coming from somebody that has...
I wonder what it's like in an... So, you know how in like the trailer they showed how they were like the hordes of the big woolly guys? In an internet lobby, chasing a horde of those, I don't even want to know what it's like.
Personal experience with this type of shit, okay? I played through Cyberpunk 2077, fully maxed out with frame generation, and I'll tell you, it was a okay experience.
It's bad, yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking sit here and lie and say that there was not a goddamn ounce of input lag. I can only imagine how bad it gets with 30 frames being...
Look, here's what we can hope for, right? Maybe when they... what a great freeze frame this is. Maybe we have a Cyberpunk situation, right? Where like 3 years from now, they release the DLC and it runs amazingly. Like they remake everything, they fix everything, and then it's like, oh my god, Monster Hunter is back. We can hope for that, but I'm not gonna hold my breath waiting for it. I'm not gonna hold my breath for a Cyberpunk situation.
Fake frame to 60? With actual, like, just pure software solutions. So, look, anyways, this is not like a fucking technical breakdown. This is just a sign to show you that if you read this spec sheet and you still bought this game, for, by the way, the off-sale price is 90 Canadian dollars, then you're an actual fucking idiot, okay? I'm sorry to say. You fucking lick Windows is what I'm gonna put it out, okay? You actually, unironically, sip dot-com if you unironically bought this expecting good performance. Now, I remember back then.
Yeah, we were told after the god-awful demo that, oh, we were playing an older build. Oh, it's going to be more optimized on release. I don't know where.
There was a lot of performance issues right there. And every single, like, comment that I would read that defended
the fucking 4090's having performance issues. 4090 7800 X3D. This is, like, top-of-the-line gaming system. Okay, to be fair, he's running at 4K. Okay, I'll give... Yeah, fair enough.
Game.
Even so, if you're running specs like this, you should better run a fucking modern game at 4K.
Was like, it's a beta. Come on, it's a beta software.
It's a beta.
Fix it down the road. You might get a patch. You know, how many times are we as gamers going to look at the words beta software and just not immediately, like, translate that into our head as
I don't run 4K,
software?
yeah.
Like, you really honestly think that...
Here's the thing, though. 1080p and 4K don't run any differently. It's like maybe 3 frames. Like, the game is so horribly optimized that I went from ultra settings to low settings, and I don't think the frame rate changed. Maybe it got like 5 or 10 FPS better. Oh, yeah, no, do you know why I immediately gave up the demo? I was streaming the game and I fucking had my GPU crash. I was like, no, no, we're not doing this. No, not happening. Like, I did the first hunt and it killed my fucking system.
What, a couple months away from release, that beta software isn't just like a close to the final build option. Like, yeah, there's gonna be performance changes, but if it's playing like if it's playing like a fucking diarrhea,
it wasn't a beta, it was a demo. We were lied to.
In the beta, dog, it ain't gonna turn into an Olympian by the time it actually releases. I had hope because of
World.
God damn. Now, again, the reason for me making this video is not because, like, you know, I'm mad necessarily at the gameplay for Monster Hunter. Actually, I think the gameplay is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think some of the
it's definitely streamlined a lot from like even from World. A lot of it's streamlined. It's a lot faster even than World. And I get why people might not. And also you have the focus mode and all this. I get why classic Monster Hunter fans might not be happy with the direction the series has gone. But in a world where it runs fine, it's a good game. Maybe it's not the best Monster Hunter game, but in a world where it runs well, it's good. And I would play it.
Casualization they've done might be a little bit overboard. You know, but generally speaking, it's a pretty sick open world game. The problem is if it actually works at a playable frame rate. Now, the thing is, Monster Hunter World is not the only game to release an unoptimized dogshit version of their product, okay? We as gamers, like, especially if you were back in, like, 2007, 2008, like, that era of PC gaming, with the DRM, with the shitty technologies that would be released at that point, yeah, it was a bad time. But shortly after, I would say towards the tail end of PS3 360, I think we started to get a little bit better when it came to the
2
PC
years.
gaming support. But now, I swear to God, I think we've regressed to the point of like 2004, 2003. I think we've regressed to a point where one would even question, why build a computer? Why even build PC gaming? In fact, why even go out and play some of these games on consoles when they're just as bad at times? Like, if you look at games like Mind's Eye, even if you played that shit on a PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, you were still getting a dick in the ass one way or the other, okay?
Does Wilds run well on PS5? I don't actually know. Is it just horribly optimized across everything, or is it just PC?
Maybe on one platform like the PC, you could get the dick in the ass at 60, 70 frames, whereas on the others, it's just going to crash no matter what, okay? It is what it is.
That's not a high bar. Are you saying it runs good, or it runs the best?
Has not released this standalone by itself, okay? This is a long-running thing for a company like Capcom. I distinctly remember when Dragon's Dogma...
Yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Not good. Okay.
2, excited for that game. Super duper ready. PC version ran like dog shit, and it still runs like dog shit.
Dragon's Dogma.
In fact, aside from Resident Evil, their games unanimously run like hot garbage on the PC. And this is the biggest IP they have. This is the most selling game.
Yeah.
You would think out of any game that they would develop, this would be the one that gets all the attention. Again, I don't care so much about the content issues. I don't care about the game balancing. I'll let an actual Monster Hunter diehard explain that, okay? That's their realm. But I do care about this from, like, the consumer...
Yo, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
...perspective. They are selling an actual broken game, and then they have the balls to slightly complain about the fact that, you know, these companies will just say, man, nobody's supporting our games. Nobody's buying any of these products. Maybe we have to shutter these IPs down the road. Looks like gamers just aren't interested in Monster Hunter, so to speak. It's not that gamers aren't interested. How is it that companies are actively just still releasing the most broken software that you could ever imagine? All without, like, ever expecting. I was remembering, like, with Mind's Eye when it came out.
Yo! Yo, thank you for the subs. Appreciate it. Thankful to something up from... Hey, awesome. Thank you. Very... Wait, Darkfire got one. Wait, how'd you not already got one, Kylo? With all of the gift subs we had the other week, I don't know how you didn't get one. Thank you. Thank you, Ari. Appreciate it.
A few days after it released...
We're watching Mudahar complain about Monster Hunter, which I very much agree with him on.
Company behind it was like...
Prime user, maybe.
Guys, we are absolutely shocked that the game is having performance problems. How? How do
I
you
don't.
not
Well,
run this
maybe
in your offices and come to a realization
maybe you
that
won't dodge it eventually.
We should not release the game. You know, I really feel like games have a first, I guess you could say, like, impressions mentality. Like, if your release and the subsequent weeks that follow it are not good and gravy, your game is going to...
You don't have to give them, but I very much appreciate it.
It's going to take a lot of effort. Like, we're talking Cyberpunk 2077's No Man's Sky level of effort and commitment to even try.
It's not going to happen, though. I doubt it.
Those games are kind of the exception. They are certainly not the norm in this industry. Now, again, to go to Monster Hunter Wilds, like...
Maybe by the time they bring out Master Rank, maybe by then they fix the game. I just don't believe it.
Looks pretty. But, again, I just played through... To go to Monster Hunter Wilds, like, it's a game that looks pretty.
I disagree. It looks pretty on a 4090. Have you played World with the HD patch? World looks beautiful.
But again, I just played through, like, I didn't finish Death Stranding 2, but I've played, like, probably 20 to 30 hours now of that game. And I'll tell you right now, without half the technologies this game is relying on, like ray tracing and frame generation, somehow that game not only looks sharper, but better than what's going on here.
Well,
I know
sharp.
Somebody's gonna go, but that's an open world that's really dead, Muda. It's got nothing going on. And I'm just gonna tell you, brother, that's a holy cope right there if I've ever heard one. Not only does Death Stranding have actual, like, combat to go up with, but it's also running this game at a higher average resolution than the PlayStation. Now, from what I understand, Monster Hunter Wilds is running at around 1080p, and it
sometimes
uses upscaling technology to get to whatever your display is. But on performance mode, it can drop as low as like 720p. So again, we're kind of touching at worst those PS3 level like resolutions.
Yeah.
But it runs smooth because we had to crank everything down to the point.
But you know, on my system, I was running it at 480p. 480p upscaled looks rough, to say the least.
Where it's literally at least 2 generations behind what it should currently be. And that's not okay. Like, that's not an answer to anything. That's not how optimization works. Optimization works when you look at your engine and you look at the limitations of that engine and you think, okay, if it's really successful at a slight open world at best Resident Evil game, how do we make sure we can achieve it with this seamless open world that is Monster Hunter? If you can't manage to make that work, then maybe delaying the game is an important part. Because if it doesn't work well across the board, and this is just, again, I want to stress, it's not just a PC thing. I think the turnout on console isn't even that good either, right?
No.
And I played this on a PS5. It's not exactly the craziest good looker. If anything, during battle, it can get smeary. The only reason I ended up even buying it on PS5 in the first place is due to the fact that it runs at a better overall resolution.
Due to the fact that it runs. That's how I feel, actually.
Resolution, a frame rate, and unlike PC, I know that at least the stutters here were going to be non-existent, as opposed to a stutter problem that is still a huge issue across modern PC games.
I still need to play Death Stranding 1.
Optimizing your game has become completely dead and written, okay? I'm not going to blame, certain technologies entirely, even though I just kind of did with ray
frame generate. Oh, is he a ray tracing hater as well?
I'm not going to blame, certain technologies entirely, even though I just kind of did with ray tracing. There's
Based Mudahar. Fuck ray tracing. Me and my homies hate ray tracing. I am so sick of every game being ray traced.
still a lot of good games that drop with these technologies like Cyberpunk that do take advantage.
Yeah, but it came out fucking when did Cyberpunk originally come out? Like fucking 300 years ago? It dropped in really? It was only 2020? Wow, okay.
Pretty well. But at least when it comes to companies like Capcom, something with their engine, something with how they implement this stuff, just does not fly. And it hasn't flown since this game
doesn't have
dropped
ray
in
tracing
February.
doors.
And if anything, they just actively refuse to fix any of this. Like, they're not even releasing any meaningful content for a game that's supposed to have
Rasterization just
meaningful
works.
content drip-fed months after the game's release. But
I think ray tracing works when it's used as like an artistic style. The problem is every game is trying to look like real life, and I'm really sick of seeing ray trace lighting. I've said this before, and I've gotten angry comments about it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. If you like it, that's cool. I am sick of seeing ray tracing be used as like a fucking cope. RTX is fine if it's just, yeah, cool. Having reflections work is awesome. I do agree there. To be fair, okay, honest question, right? Do you care about realistic reflections when it was kind of good enough to just fake it? So the way you would fake it in older games is you'd put a 3D model. So you'd have like a cap, basically the mirror would be a camera, and you would just like replicate the scene on the other side. It was basically like faking the movement. It looked like a reflection, but it actually wasn't in the way they implemented it. P3 Reload just does reflections and it looks good. I think people just honestly, I think devs forgot how to do reflections without ray tracing, because there are games that have reflections on the PS2. They just faked it, and they look pretty good actually.
it doesn't even matter. They could release the greatest boss fight. They could release the greatest amount of content with this game. But if you can't actually play it, even under the most expensive computers in the...
Sure, it's not a perfect solution. But at the same time, if the game's running at 15 FPS anyway, maybe try some things out. I don't care that much. I judge games based on what graphics... Not what I could... Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's fair, actually.
Market right now, because this game stutters. When your game shits itself more than somebody with chronic loose motions or something, like on a daily basis, then it doesn't matter how good of an update you release or how great of a boss fight that comes out. That is something that I think needs to be addressed. And I feel like for a lot of gamers that have spent money on this and are just actively complaining, I really feel like the best way I guess you can kind of do with this is probably raise a stink, or maybe not even buy another expansion that's coming out this way. There's a reason why I didn't even buy this game on PC. And it's simply because I knew the writing on the wall.
Don't pre-order. Never pre-order.
Did not care about releasing a proper product. And even on the PS5, like, it's not perfect, but at least it's far better than the stuttering messes that you could get on PC. Again, it's just a baffling reminder.
You never have... I don't... You know what? I don't understand why people pre-order games, right? I genuinely don't understand. If you... Unless you... No, not even if you know for a fact. Just wait, because we're not in a time where there's like limited supply, right? Like I understood pre-orders back when stores would have a limited number of games. You can walk into any game store and buy a new game day one. There's nothing that sells out. Obviously, hardware is an exception because, you know, that's the only place you can buy hardware. But a lot of people are just buying digital games. Game stores will have a copy. Just watch a streamer. Just watch watch a review. There will be someone playing it day one. Just look at that and then decide to buy it. I guess, look, if you want to buy it for the fucking statue and you don't even care if the game's good... Fair enough. Fair enough. I understand that.
Reminder as to how companies create this kind of stuff, and then they don't bother fixing it, and then down the road, there's complaints about gamers not being interested. Like, dog, can you blame the actual gamer here? Like, can you blame somebody that came home, spent like their hard-earned money, and then got treated to a piece of software that cannot even properly function?
Especially for the kind of person who buys like
across all
one
sets
game
of
every couple of months or one game a
is the
year.
Stuff we need to be talking, man.
How we
And
doing
I'm
with
not even
fucking
getting
ranting about
into
Monster
the
Hunter?
entire discussion of things like DRM, like de novo, which limits me from using this game across multiple sets of actual like hardware, all because that's just their arbitrary restriction. Like, bro, if I want to run this on multiple computers or even try to run this on my Steam Deck, as stupid as that idea is, I should be allowed to.
Or just a Linux system in general. In case you don't know, Proton versions are counted as new activations according to de novo. So if you have to change your Proton versions more than 5 times in a day, well, good luck.
Simply because I bought my game, I should be allowed to just connect to the internet since I already signed into my Steam account actively. I should be allowed to run this game all day, every day.
That would be nice.
Why is it that not only are they selling me a license, but they're selling me the most invasively annoying license imaginable? You know, this is one of those things where, like, I've just been watching it from the sidelines. Like, I'm somebody that has tried to really get into Monster Hunter, and I play Monster Hunter. Like, it's not that I don't. I've been playing this franchise since the PSP days. I just have not been, like, the most active player. But I thought that was going to change with Monster Hunter Wilds. It unfortunately has not. And if anything, it's the one game that, for a lot of my friends who do actually...
Brodie, what's your message to someone who still plays WWE 2K games and pre-orders the Ultimate Premium $100 version? Okay, we need to be clear about something, right? When I talk about gamers, sports gamers are very different to regular gamers. I know people who they will buy FIFA every single year. They don't play video games, they play FIFA. They don't play video games, they play NBA 2K or F1 or WWE or like anything like that. My cousin is like this, yeah.
Play this, especially my friends on the PC.
They're gonna buy it no matter what.
One of the most awful
and then probably spend $3,000 on the game.
It would be one thing if this was a free-to-play game, but it is not. It is a fucking full-priced release.
Yes, there are sports fans who play. Yeah, there are sports fans who play games as well. But a lot of the people who are buying sports games are just sports fans,
and they just won't fix it. It's actually insane. Anyways, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, man, I tell you what, dude, gaming is...
It's fun, isn't it?
Buy good games like System Shock 2.
Yeah, let's play games from the fucking 90s.
Cheaper, but thank God they run better. Even if you want to play something recent, buy the System Shock remake, man. Buy Shadows, buy anything else. Just don't buy the PC game made by a multi-million...
Go play Dragon's Dogma
company.
1.
Somehow still can't manage to optimize it. At all. Insane.
Yup. Absolutely agree. We kind of ran over today. I thought we'd be done at the 4 o'clock mark, but you know, we're here 20 minutes later. So it is what it is. Anyway. I fucking hate video games. Now, man, I want Wilds to be good. I hope it gets fixed at some point. I don't think it's going to be. Yeah. So, I guess I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. That's, yep, exactly. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chill for a bit or something, and, yeah.